This is the seventh annual Festival of the Cranes here at Wheeler Wildlife Refuge, and we've had a great crowd so far come out, and we've got great programs in downtown Decatur also. So far it's been a great festival.
Here at Wheeler National Wildlife Refuge in Decatur, Alabama, this is an annual event. It's called the Festival of the Cranes. It's been going on for several years, and Wheeler National has a wintering population of a lot of sandhill cranes and a few really rare whooping cranes.
Well, first off, you can expect to see some cranes. They're out in the fields around, so that's always a big draw. So the cranes are here. You might get to see a whooping crane if they show up.
We're in an observation building here on the refuge, and this gives people a chance to come in and get up close with waterfowl and these cranes and birds of prey and other raptors, and really gives them a really great experience to see these birds up close. Now, the birds are not real close today, but this is kind of an oddity today in that they're usually up very close. They've been scattered because we've had so much rainfall in the valley this winter. They're scattered out, not concentrated around this building. But this is a great place to bring your family out and show them the wintering waterfowl that we have along the Tennessee River.
Well, there's around 15,000 cranes on the refuge. As you know, the water, these creeks and the rivers and everything has been, the water level's been up, and that kind of takes over the mud flats, which is where the cranes like to roost. So they're more scattered all about in the fields. All the presentations here at the Visitor Center are free. The events that take place at the Princess, like last night was John Paul White did a concert and it was great. And then tonight there'll be Ibex puppetry, and I'm not sure if there may be tickets still available for that show. But everything here at the Visitor Center is free except for the food.
There's a guy who is doing an impersonation of Theodore Roosevelt, and Theodore Roosevelt, when I grew up, I thought that he was just a warmongering guy that liked to shoot, giraffes and zebras and stuff in Africa, and I started reading some biographies of him, and he's the one who set aside wildlife refuges for the first time. He's the one who asked his advisors whether there was anything preventing them from creating a national monument. And this was when companies wanted to do mining inside of the Grand Canyon. And, the Grand Canyon was public land, but it wasn't protected. They wanted to claim mining rights, and he said, no, we're going to create the Grand Canyon National Monument. And it was the first national monument, I think. Teddy Roosevelt's conservation contributions were just enormous.
They have some raptor shows with the Southeastern Raptor Center out of Auburn University, and they have President Teddy Roosevelt, straight out of 1901, in character, who is regarded as the father of all the wildlife refuges in Alabama. They have kids' activities. They've run buses to downtown to save them traffic, and each year it gets a little bigger, and they have an amazing number of visitors. They'll have possibly even 800 people come through here today.
They've got a puppet show, and it's not your typical puppet show. That they've got a huge crane head on a pole that one person holds, and two other people hold wings. It's going to make the play Cats and Lion King. It's that kind of a spectacle, as opposed to just little hand puppets.
Definitely bring your binoculars, and if you have a spotting scope, that's even better. But yeah, you should come, and of course, dress for the weather. You have to. It's a short walk to the observation building, but you know, if it's raining, you want to have your jacket on and everything. And yeah, just bring some good binoculars, and there's lots to see.
They were basically hunted down to extinction because they're pretty white birds, and in the turn of the century, the 1900th century, the 20th century, they were hunted because of their feathers in fashion, and they dwindled down to around just 18 or 19 birds. 20 birds, got really low, really on the brink of extinction, and have now come back through the efforts of the International Crane Foundation and some the Fish and Wildlife Service and some other partners in it have now brought them back to both an eastern and a western United States migrating population. They nest very, very far north near the Arctic Circle, so these birds have come a long way. And at the end of February, at Valentine's Day, when spring gets here and it warms up, 3,000 miles, they're gone north again. So they're long-distance travelers. They don't know property lines, like all birds, so they really don't know if they're on a refuge or not. But I feel like that since they gather up here, they probably feel a bit of sense of safety around. These cranes and all birds in general are really important parts of the ecosystem, and a good balanced ecosystem gives us a lot of what we call ecological services here in Alabama. These are things like clean air, clean water, a lot of things that we take for granted. And with the interconnectedness of nature, all these things work together to give us good soil, clean air, clean water, and give us a high quality of life here in Alabama.
This is the National Wildlife Refuge, so it's a public lands, and that's always important. So we want the public to come out and enjoy their lands. So that, you know, and especially now, it's great that we're able to be here and open up. And this is, of course, our busy time with all the cranes, and so we invite everybody to come out and visit us and support your public lands.